Hello, I want to share with you a customer service story. I have found during COVID that the companies that are getting ahead, the companies that are doing really well right now, or as well as you can expect, it's their customer service. It's how they're treating their customer. And it's that above and beyond. I mean, we've heard for years, how do you create that wow moment? But I kind of want to tell you how I learned to create a wow moment. Many years ago, when I wasn't even in the business, I was a caregiver, I was a CNA. And my husband had worked for the newspaper, and he had helped this one paper boy get into college, into ASU, on a free ride scholarship. They had a scholarship program, and he nominated the guy and did everything he could to push it forward. Fast forward 2 years later, and in the mailbox, randomly, my husband gets 3 tickets to travel anywhere in the United States, free. This paper boy's parents both worked at Southwest, and you know how they get companion fares, and they saved up 3 companion fares so we could go. So we could go anywhere in the United States. And the note was, you always talk about taking your family to Disney World one day. Hope this helps. So we really had nothing at that point. We were, pretty broke. We'd only been married a couple years. You guys all know how that goes. So we decided we're going to Disney World. We price it out, we find a hotel we're gonna stay at. We wanna stay on property, so we get the hotel, and we decide if we kind of go really cheap, we can stay for, I think we decided 5 or 6 days, to make it really fun, because you have to build in flight time. So we fly to Disney World, we get there, and on day 2, it's pouring down rain. So we buy their rain slickers, and they're probably $10 back then. But, we're walking around, we look over at our daughter, and she has raindrops falling off her face and all that. We're like, we got to get ball caps. So we buy ball caps, baseball caps. So we go back to our room, decide, we're going to eat back at the hotel because it's less expensive than eating, although we were on property, than eating in actually the amusement park. And we had a note on our phone saying, can you stop by the room? Well, wait, I got ahead of myself. So we get the ball caps. We go back about 2 days later. Sorry about that. My husband checks the bill because we're watching everything pretty closely. And it talks about, we saw the hats, we saw the rain ponchos that we bought, but there was another charge on there for like $100. And we had no idea what it was. So we're looking, and we looked at each other, and I'm like, I don't know, honey, they must have put it on our bill by mistake. So I go over to the hotel front desk, and I talk to the lady, and she's looking at me, and she's like, you're sure you didn't buy anything? I'm like, nope, that's all we bought. I can't tell you what it is. And she's like, you're sure? And I'm like, yeah, sure. She said, okay. So we had paid in cash, so she refunded us in cash. I asked if we could get it back in cash. Refunds us in cash, and I put the money in my pocket, don't give it a thought. Go back to the hotel room, give the money to my husband, off to the park we go. We get back from the park, and this is where the phone call is. We have a phone message saying, we believe we may have overpaid you for your return. We think we may have given you a $100 bill instead of a $1 bill. And we're like, really? So my husband pulls out the money, and there it was, a $100 bill. And the lady's like on the phone, on the message, if we made this mistake, could you bring it back? So I go back to the hotel, and I wait in line, and I'm an impatient soul. So finally there's somebody over there that doesn't have anybody there, and I walk over and I said, hey, somebody gave us $100 instead of a $1 bill, so here's the $100, give us the $1 bill back, and I take off. We went swimming and all that, came back to the room, and there's a knock on the door, and there's the guy that gave me the wrong change, standing there with a little present for Alex, and I'll never forget, chocolate-covered macadamia nuts package. And he says, I just want to give this to you as our thank you. And I'm like, I don't know why you're thanking us. I just returned the money that you accidentally gave us. And he's like, well, in conversation, he goes, the reason why we made it sound like we weren't sure is a lot of people won't do it. So we were kind of surprised how fast you brought it back. So that was my first lesson in customer service, because I took back the money that they paid us accidentally. And we got a cool little, Little Mermaid thing back then, because my daughter had on Little Mermaid pajamas, had a Little Mermaid thing. Alex thought that was better than anything we would have got her in the park. So we leave vacation, we go back home. 2 weeks later, I'm getting dressed, and I reach up, put the ball cap on that we bought in Disneyland, and I realized, holy crap, that was the $100 charge. So I called Disneyland back, 2 weeks later and say, we contested a charge. You guys we really did buy the ball caps. How do I pay you back? How do I send you the check? And they're like, no big deal. Don't worry about it. Accidents happen. I'm like, no, I feel really bad because, I didn't pay for these ball caps. And they're like, well, we hope, Mrs. Barno, that one day you'll return back to Disneyland. And of course, we've gone back a million times since then. But those were two wow moments. The first one was when the lady's looking at me. I have the ball cap on my head as I'm telling her, nope, we didn't buy anything. She could have at any time said, look up, and I would have been like, oh, holy crap. But she didn't, because customer service is more important. I would rather give somebody their money back than argue with them about it. I would rather give them what they asked for than sit and debate it. Because why do I want to risk losing a customer over, in that case, back then it was probably a $10 ball cap. Well, 30 because we bought 3. I mean, that was their thinking. And then when we take back the money that they mispaid us, I mean, it's their money, they still felt we need to make it wow. And because the guy couldn't wait on me at the counter because I'm an impatient soul, he felt obligated he felt like he should bring us something. That's wow moments. That's how you're going to win in customer service right now. Creating that time when you do what it takes for your customer. When you go above and beyond and say, what can I do to create a wow? How can I make this better? I mean, we just finished our first virtual conference and everything went pretty well considering. I mean, everything went really well. I mean, we had some glitches, but our CEUs didn't come out as well as normal. Well, they didn't come out well at all. And so we have people that, didn't get their full CEUs that are, disputing it. And absolutely they have the right. And, we're trying to make it right. But with one person, it was just like, what can I do to make this wow? How can I make this wow? Because I understand how upset you are. I understand how frustrated you are. That's all it takes, you guys. So it takes you a couple extra minutes. Disneyland, what do you think they paid for that hat? We paid $10. They probably paid $1. And they created customer for life. And they taught me how to give good customer service. They taught me how happy you are when your daughter has this dopey little mermaid thing, and Dennis got these chocolate-covered macadamia nuts that he took home to his mother, because she loved that stuff. Dennis and I are like, macadamia nuts, who wants that? But his mother was so thrilled by it. So all these wows by one gesture. So it doesn't hurt to do that one gesture. You can never go wrong making sure the customer is right. Now, I'm not saying the customer is always right. I've had customers where they have said, I think this is BS, and I'm like, okay, make your decision. I'm not giving. I'm not on this because this isn't a customer service issue. This is a right or wrong issue. Look at your customer services. Look what you have in place. How are you treating your customers? I realize everything's tight right now. I realize everybody is as stressed as they can get right now. And, sometimes it's hard when you get that customer on the phone and they're complaining to you, especially if it's something that you have absolutely nothing you can do with. It's a law, it's a regulation, it's whatever, and we have no impact on it anyway. It's still, what can I do? How can I help you? Because that's all anybody wants right now. They want to be heard and they want to be recognized. And the businesses that hear and recognize right now are going to win. So let me know what you think. Let me know what your wow moments are. Who has wowed you? And if you've been to Disney, you can't use that because Disney wows everybody. I mean, we go to Disney. In fact, we're going to Disney World, I think next April. Hedging our bets that everything will be great by then. In Disneyland here, I'm in Arizona. Disneyland out here hasn't opened yet. But I'm thinking, I know Walt Disney's been a slow opening. Disneyland will not be a slow opening because Disneyland has a core set of people that will be pouring through that door. We will not be one of them. We'll wait till the crowds die down, even with social distancing and all that other good stuff. So, but we'll get there at some point. Let me know what your wow moment is. Let me know, even tell me what one of your worst customer service experiences have been when you've said, I will never set foot in that place and never have. And I've got a couple where I won't set foot in that place to save my life because the customer service was so bad. So let me know what you guys think. Write down in your comments below. Have a great day. It's Friday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Get some rest, get some relaxation, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.